Hello everybody, I've got a special unboxing video for you here today. I've got a copy of what I believe is Corsair Leader from DVG. So the only thing I've done is I've removed the label and started to get through the plastic here in the tape as well. So this is as much a reveal to me as it is to you. So we've got a good little bit of packing here. And it's pretty solid. Let's see what we have. It's hard to read that. The History of Bomber Fighting Squadron 10, 2nd January 1945 to 15 November 1945. Okay, that's interesting. Not sure if that is just chrome or if that's actually something interesting to use with the game. It looks like it's just kind of a history thing. Wow, this is pretty cool. This is a lot of historic information on this particular squadron, it looks like, with a bunch of dates and fighter pilots involved and maybe some after action reports, it looks like. Wow, cool. Okay, good deal. And then we have another declassified, I'm sorry, couldn't see the glare there. Looks like a after action report, perhaps. It looks like, oh, we've got several of them on here. That's interesting. To add a certain amount of flavor to the game, certainly. Okay, cool. And then we've got the box itself. So this is pretty hefty, even by DVG standards. This is a pretty thick box, as you can see. The back of it looks like this is going to be very similar to other Leader series type of games, where you're choosing your squadron component, or whoever your pilots are. I suppose it'll be interesting to see if there's other airplanes besides Corsairs. Then you're doing your loadout as well, and then you're choosing a target and going after it. It looks like you can go after Japanese carriers, which is really neat. And otherwise, we've got a ton of components in here, I bet. So let me see if I can get this open. Probably not. I should have a box cutter handy. You would think that would be useful in doing something like this. Let's see what we got here under the hood. Well, here we go. I answer my own question by looking at this. There are many different types of aircraft included in the game. F4U Corsairs, F4F Wildcats, Hellcats, Buffaloes, Vindicators, Helldivers, Devastators, Avengers, and Dauntlesses. Oh my, there's tons in here. So good, you're not just flying Corsairs, you're able to lead other aircraft as well. And of course, the first thing that comes to mind with a game like this is Black Sheep Squadron from the 70s. That was one of my favorites when I was a kid. And I've also been a member of the Facebook group Corsair Leader, so I've been following their entries and their desperate pleas for where's our game. There were some shipping delays in this apparently, but it has finally arrived. So we have a full color manual, I'm assuming, as usual with DVG. Yep, lots of images, very little text, a lot of explanation, and great deal of detail. And if it's like any other DVG game, it'll start in a logical sequence, where it starts at the beginning of the game, turns sequence, and then goes through there and walks you through it. Looks like we've got all kinds of different campaigns as well. I can't wait to see exactly what we have. Okay, so we have a mounted board. Looks like a dogfight board as a reference for aerial combat. We've got a bigger mounted board. If I could, there we go. If I could open it. Okay, this is a tactical map, I believe. Very similar to the other Leader air combat type of games. We got the target card in the middle and approach lanes and everything, and enemies will be all over the place in here. That'll be interesting. And we have lots of components. 250-pound bombs, drop tanks, 1,000-pound bombs, rockets, enemy aircraft, and it looks like, yep, we don't have call signs, so we got, it looks like names of pilots, which is perfectly fine. I don't think they really had call signs. I don't know. It's got more of the same here. A lot of good markers, high quality DVG as usual. You've got a lot of sheets here. This is going to be fun punching all this out. I can't wait to get started. And the other thing that I like about them too is they have a curved corner. That's a really nice thing for those of us that like to clip our corners, and for those who do not, well, it saves you the exasperation of having to watch people do that. And more, yep, these components look pretty similar to the other leader series, but that's absolutely fine because that means I'll be more familiar with it. Wow, we got more counters, jeez. And we got more counters. We got lots of counters in here. Even more Japanese planes. Even more Japanese planes. Wow. And even more counters. My gosh. These look like skills probably that you can add to your pilots. Not sure what the rest of these are, but it looks like we've got... Oh yeah, these are the other aircraft that I was mentioning on the back of the box. Man, even more. And more. So these are all the good guys. And plenty more there too. Okay, cool. Well, wait a second. That's interesting. That must just be like extra counters for the other leader games, perhaps. Unless there's some kind of variant in here. I can't imagine being able to have Mavericks and Sidewinders and... wow. Harpoon missiles, and yeah, this looks like these are... Okay, so yeah, there's going to be some kind of variant in here where there's... where the Corsair was used, and I'm sure some of you are probably yelling at this video right now saying, yes, you dummy, Corsairs were used after World War II, so that's probably why. I got the player log. You can make copies of this as usual. If you look on Board Game Geek, you can probably find the files there, or actually I bet you it won't take long before somebody's created their own. Island operations, so it looks like we've got some rules to reference here for how operations work on the islands with various facilities and such. That's kind of cool. And carrier operations. Ooh, okay, so we got land-based aircraft and we've got carrier-based aircraft. That is very interesting. Operations off of a carrier deck. Okay, oh, here we go. Black Sheep Squadron, 1943 U.S. Marines. So we've got probably what are targets all over the place there. And this is just the overall card about that campaign in 1943. We've got some more in here as well. I won't go opening them all up. Rabaul, 1944. New Britain, 1943. Oh, cool. Battle of Midway, 1942. Pearl Harbor, 1941. Very interesting. Then another Battle of Midway. Okay, so this one was U.S. Navy. The other one, U.S. Marines. Okay. Battle of the Coral Sea. Operation Vengeance, 1943 U.S. Army Air Force. Oh, wow, there's a whole ton of them in here. Guadalcanal, U.S. Marines. New Georgia, U.S. Marines. Sumatra, United Kingdom. FAA. Okinawa, U.S. Navy and UK FAA. Battle of Leyte Gulf, U.S. Navy. Luzon, 1945, U.S. Marines. Wake Island, 1941, U.S. Marines. There is no end to the possibility of play here, obviously. Linked campaigns, so you can actually... Looks like you can actually link up multiple campaigns here together. So we got some rules for that. Player help sheet. Again, more stuff. Key terms, more helpful stuff. Pilot skills, the skills that they get as they get promoted. And then a whole slew of cards, and oh my gosh, what is this? That is so awesome. That's a patch. I don't know what I do with it, but that's pretty damn neat. I like that. So we got dice, we got target cards, and just tons of them. I'm not even going to bother to open this, so it'll probably double the length of the video. But you can see this is pretty similar high-quality DVG components here. So, okay, so that's Corsair Leader, guys. I'll just end that here and say Thank you, DVG, for sending this review copy to me. I will be putting this through its paces and do a full review on it soon. Thank you.